Thank you. What's going on, YouTube and Facebook? Welcome to Junior the Big Dog, your favorite father and son duo covering Miami Hurricanes football and sports. What's up, Big Dog?
What do you guys say? Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Got a whole bunch of people on here early. If you're new, please subscribe and hit the notifications bell. But everyone, please hit the like button because it really does help us with the YouTube algorithm to reach a broader audience. And share these videos and stuff as much as you can with others because it's a real big benefit to us. And I know a lot of you guys do that already because you guys are the most loyal group of people I've ever run across in my life. So, but I want to say hi to Jared Watts, Mr. HD, Captain Trips, Anthony, all you guys. Thank you guys so much for being with us on this Wednesday evening. And we are taking steps, guys, just to let you know, to give you a whole bunch more content.
Yes.
Junior,
Yes.
Junior has had, in between a crazy work schedule, and now with the twins, and he had that computer issue, so he sort of got a lot of that worked out. So we're going to start releasing a lot of these videos that we owe you guys with video breakdowns of all these recruits and that we have in the 2020 class that we hadn't fully covered, and then some more stuff, some more content. So we're going to throw out there as much content as we possibly can. Yes, Mr. HD, I am big time excited about Elijah Arroyo. And you're right. I'm more excited from where we got him from, because to go into Texas in the middle of all this stuff going on, where the young man can't even make it, to Miami, to be able to get him to commit is huge. Really talented pass catcher. In his tape, he's a willing blocker. He's definitely not a Dominic Mammarelli type of blocker, but he seems to be willing and get better. And that's, usually when you want tight ends, you want them at least to be a willing blocker. And Elijah is that already. But somebody that we're really excited of getting tremendous top tier talent. And, we've been rightfully critical of a lot of things of Manny and some of the members of the coaching staff. But one thing you cannot argue with is that they're recruiters, because we've been the king of the transfer portal. Without a doubt, no one's even close to us in terms of what we do in the transfer portal, and keeping together a really good 2020 class and steals like Avante Williams and stuff like that with a 6-7 record is amazing. Yep. So I'm really, really thrilled with that. Ben Pratt, Orange and Green Blood, Cohen. It's all about the U, Cohen. How you doing, buddy? Baltimore Kane, also Kane in the Desert. Lozo, what do you say, Lozo? Tasha Gilmore, Eddie, Sammy. We got a whole bunch of the our usual suspects here, and some new ones too.
The Facebook comment says, "You play Minecraft?" Negative. I do not play Minecraft.
I don't have Facebook pulled up, so if we're gonna do anything with the Facebook comments,
no, because it shows up. It shows up on because you watch it on YouTube, so I'm watching it on StreamYard, so I see which is a comment on Facebook.
What I'm just saying is, if you gotta let me know on the comments on Facebook.
Yeah. Well, let me see if I put it up on our screen. Do you see the Facebook logo?
Yeah. You play Minecraft? Yeah, I saw it.
Okay. So yeah, man.
Gersa, what do you say, Tony Kid?
So just reflecting some of the things that Big Dog was saying. I was able to finally get my software to this temporary computer that I have. My software that I would do the breakdowns and all that good stuff. So me and the Big Dog are gonna. I think we counted 6, Big Dog. I think we're gonna do obviously De'Aaron King, Quincy Roche.
We're probably not gonna do really much on Jose Borregales.
No,
since he's not. But we have Keyshawn
Smith.
I always want to call him Keyshawn Washington. Yeah. Keyshawn Smith.
Yeah, Isaiah Dunson.
Worsham, Dazzling Worsham.
Yeah. We're missing one.
Yeah, we had 6.
Jalen Harrell.
What is it? Oh, that's right, Jalen Harrell.
So we got those 6, man. Everybody else that's committed to the 2020 class, we already broke them down in some form or fashion. Either we did standalone videos on them, or
the prospects videos.
We did them in our prospect videos. So if you guys go to our playlist, I actually have them all in the 2020 breakdown playlist. And hopefully we get football going on soon, college football going on. So we're gonna be able to talk about that. But if not, we might start. What do you think, Big Dog? After we do the 6 breakdowns of the commits that we have remaining, and maybe possibly one more commit with those rumors floating around with Isaiah Walker. He entered the transfer portal on Monday. Yep. So he decommitted from the Florida Gators. Obviously, it was between Florida and Miami pretty much for Isaiah Walker. So,
well, remember, it was South Carolina big time forever.
It was, but then
and then it was South Carolina. Oh wait, no, South Carolina.
Yeah,
Miami. Well, maybe not.
Yeah,
and
there was a lot of flip flopping, but
there was a lot.
I think towards the end, I think it was between Miami and Florida. In my personal opinion. So the fact that
I think Mama, at first I had heard through sources, I had heard that Mama wanted him out of South Florida because of people he was around.
Right.
But then I heard that wasn't the case, and Mama actually wants him now in Miami. So, and I think that's going to happen a lot. No, listen, dude, with this whole pandemic, I think, believe it or not, I think it's going to work in our favor in recruiting, because I think more parents are going to want people to stay closer to home.
Yeah, possibly.
Okay, now mind you, we just pulled the kid out of Texas. So,
what's up, George?
So there's no way that rule is going to be anywhere near 100%. But I think it's going to possibly make parents want their kids to stay closer to home. At times, I don't think parents are going to care. But for the most part, I do think it might have a slight benefit in recruiting down in South Florida, because they might want more kids to stay at home or stay close to home.
Bergie's asking if Williams is interested. Do we push him aside for Walker? Can we take both? What Williams is he referring to?
Yeah, Bergie, which Williams are you talking about?
I'm not sure. But we'll see what happens with Walker, man.
But to answer a question in terms of, I believe we could take both. I believe that, because remember, it
sounded like Manny only had one slot left.
That's what it from. Oh, okay. Here's the thing. I love Isaiah Walker as a prospect. Okay. I love Isaiah Walker as a prospect. Okay. Let me see how I can put this. Okay. Thank you so much, George, for the donation. Thank you, George. And thank you for being here. Lashley's about to release the beast. Yep. I have a strong belief in that, George.
Appreciate it, man.
Okay, let's remove. Let me do this in 2 parts. Let's remove all the drama stuff about Isaiah Walker. As a tackle prospect, young man has it all. Length of arms, quick feet, tremendously athletic. He is, you guys know how much I like Jalen Rivers. Okay, you know how much I love Jalen Rivers, one of my favorite recruits from the 2020 class. Isaiah, I think, is the equivalent of Jalen in every way. Maybe even a slight edge athletically over Jalen. But Jalen comes with no drama and a real, top-notch student. All those other things that are really positive with Jalen Rivers. I'm not knocking Isaiah, but you guys know my feeling, and it's been proven now with analytics that kids that there's a lot of drama surrounding recruiting very rarely, I shouldn't say very rarely, have a much higher percentage of not panning out than kids that don't have the drama.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's been proven. Okay. So does that mean that we pass on Isaiah Walker maybe for a kid like Williams? No.
Yeah,
not necessarily. No, not necessarily. If the young man really decides on Miami and is committed where he doesn't have and Austin, that's a great point. Austin Keynes put his comment up. He says he's taking 4 years of Walker over a 1 year rental.
That's what
that's true.
My point was yeah.
That's true.
Especially considering, we really need to build this offensive line, and we need to have a dominant offensive line again. And getting transfers and getting these graduate transfers just for 1 year, and then to see them go. I mean, that's not really gonna. Yeah, the younger guys could learn behind them, but I mean, you really want to see us start developing our own guys and start building a dominant offensive line, man. I mean, just imagine if our offensive line was anywhere near close to our defensive line, not just in terms not just in terms of talent, but in terms of depth as well. You know what I'm saying? So I think once Miami gets back there, I think that's when we're really going to see to see the Canes that we expect to see. Because listen, I understand the spread is going to take a little bit off of the offensive line, but still, man, if we get similar play to what we got last year, I mean, the ceiling is only so high. I mean, there's a certain top off there. You can't be a great team and have a subpar offensive line. I just don't believe that that's possible, frankly. So we need to see an improvement, and hopefully we will. So if you give me a choice right now, I'm taking Isaiah Walker. I'm taking Isaiah Walker because we're gonna have him for a much longer period of time to develop in this program under these coaches, and we'll see, man. And I think it's big in terms of recruiting as well, man. You land, a big recruit in Jalen Rivers, Isaiah Walker, and I just think we need to start landing some bigger recruits. Some bigger recruits on the offensive line, because it's needed, man.
Well, you can't have both. You can't take projects and then insert them immediately. You know what I'm saying?
No, I get
that's basically what we did.
Right.
We took a really athletic kid like Zion Nelson and said, okay, but instead of having you gain weight gradually, we're going to put 50 pounds on you in 6 months and start you at the most important position on the line at left tackle.
Yeah.
Because then what ended up happening, he got destroyed. Right. Okay. So you're absolutely right with all that depth. And Austin had a point, because he said that when you talk about drama, you can sort of say the same thing about Avante Williams. The thing, Austin, I think is the big difference. Like, for example, with Avante, we knew he was committed to Oregon for a really long time. Actually I think he got committed to us, then decommitted to us, and then committed to Oregon without ever even taking a trip out there. Okay. He kept that commitment, and he flirted. He flirted with Georgia. He flirted with Florida. Slim Shady with donation. Thank you, Slim, so much. He says, Junior, I agree completely. But how are we going to keep a coach so they can develop players? That's absolutely a good point, Slim Shady, because we've done okay recruiting. We've done fine recruiting. Our problem has been developing.
Not just developing, but recycling coaches.
So, we talked about we talked about John Garvin not developing, right?
Right.
John Garvin left Miami almost the same player he was when he got to Miami as a freshman. Yeah, I mean, thicker and stronger and stuff like that. But in terms of ability level, not that much of an improvement. But he also had 3 defensive line coaches in 3 years.
Yeah, that's what Slim's trying to say.
Yeah, that's what Slim is talking about, and I can't disagree with that. But to get to the Avante Isaiah,
what fixes that though, Slim?
Winning
cures all, man. Let me tell you something. If we start winning, okay, and we just have, I'm not even talking about national championships, but if we just win the ACC Coastal, man, on a regular basis the way we're supposed to, because there's no team in the ACC Coastal that has our talent. There's not. So I mean, there's no reason why we shouldn't be playing in Charlotte every single year, frankly. Now, I'm not saying, like I said, that we need to be winning national championships or we need to be winning the ACC championship, every single year, but at least competing for it where we could keep those coaches around. You know, I mean, listen, Manny's hand was forced. You know, the offensive line was abysmal. The offensive play calling was abysmal. So what did he do? He got rid of Enos and he got rid of Butch Berry. So I mean, when it's that bad, you need to make changes.
Right.
Now, if we start to see some progress and if we start to see some winning, then you're gonna see coaches sticking around. Hopefully, coaches won't be leaving us because they'll be getting fired. Maybe they'll be leaving us because they'll be taking a job elsewhere,
going on to bigger and better things. Right,
going on to bit exactly. So
get a coordinator, gets a head coaching job somewhere. Get a
right.
Those type of departures are fine. You can deal.
100%.
Nick Saban deals with those type of departures every single season.
Mm-hmm.
Every single season, Nick. But here's the difference too. He's also hiring quality, so he's replacing quality with quality. Oh, Slim with the donation again. Thank you, Slim. He said, winning is right, but you won't win with a constant coaching carousel.
Oh, for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, if you get the right people in place, you got to make sure you pay to keep them there. Now, again, that doesn't mean
that constant coaching carousel happens. Why? Because you're not winning.
Right. It's symbiotic.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, we'll see, man. Hopefully, I don't know. I think I'm like me and the big dog have said, we're buying back in because Manny did quite a few things in the offseason to reel everybody back in and to get everybody excited again about this program, not just by the players but the staff, the personnel. Bringing in Ed Reed, new offensive coach, new offensive scheme. Finally, with the spread is going to be here with the Miami Hurricanes. So I think that is one of the most exciting things because you could have new players coming in. You could have somebody like Diaz King coming in, and you could be excited and you can have expectations. But I think, at least for me, I'm speaking for myself and chat. I mean, you guys tell me how you feel and how you view this, but I'm more excited about the true spread offense that Lashley is bringing. I'm more excited about that than I am about King and about any other transfers that we got. I'm more excited about that than the entire recruiting class, and that's nothing against them. I'm not downplaying how good of a recruiting class it was, and I'm not downplaying any of the transfers, but we're finally going to see, man. It feels like we've just been playing in a different decade, and now it feels like we're finally going to be playing like all the big time schools that that are playing at the end of the year. So I think that's what I'm most excited about.
But here's something that has to be said, and you guys know that you guys have been with us, since the beginning. You guys know that. How can I put this? That we've been properly critical of Manny and the coaching staffs when it's been called for, at least when it's been called for, in our opinion, right? Yeah. And that is a precursor to what I'm going to say. But here's the reality of it. Okay, Diaz King could have gone to Oklahoma. Okay, the last three seasons, the quarterbacks at Oklahoma were Baker Mayfield. Okay, Kyler Murray, who, oh, by the way, Baker Mayfield, who was a transfer, Kyler Murray, who was a transfer, won the Heisman, took up the national championship playoffs, and Jalen Hurts, finalist for the Heisman, and took up the national championship playoffs.
And was a transfer.
And was also a transfer. Okay, so their last three quarterbacks were either Heisman winners or Heisman finalists, and they're in the national championship playoffs almost every year. Okay? And, oh, by the way, they parlayed that in the case of Baker Mayfield and Kyler Murray to be the number one picks in their respective drafts. And in Jalen Hurts got picked and is going to have an opportunity at least somewhere down the road. Okay, so all those things being said, okay, Diaz King could have gone to Oklahoma and would have had the same exact opportunity in Oklahoma. Not the same exact that he would have in Miami. I'm talking about the same exact that he would have as Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray, and Jalen Hurts at.
Right.
Because there's doubts whether Spencer Rattler is even ready to be that type of QB.
Right.
Okay. So, yet De'Aaron King picked Miami. De'Aaron King could have gone to LSU. What happened last year at LSU when there was a transfer? He had been a transfer the previous year, but still, a transfer from Ohio State comes there, has the greatest college season of all time. Yet De'Aaron King picked Miami. And I think proper credit needs to be given to that. You know, I think it's something that's huge. It's huge that we were able to get a quarterback of the stature of De'Aaron King, who was being chased. Everybody had him pegged for LSU or Oklahoma.
Right.
Okay. Yet he had that relationship with Brett Lashley, and that was Brett Lashley that brought it in there. Okay. So those things have to be given proper weight and credit where credit is due. So when we are properly critical of Manny Diaz and the coaching staff, when it comes to keeping the 2020 class recruit together, which we also have to give a lot of credit to David Cooney, and to going out and being the king of the transfer portal, we got to give it to Manny. You got to give him. You can't give him the blame and then go, oh well, when he gets all these people, oh well, let's see what he does with them. That's not fair either, because you have to be proper with both. Jose, with the donation, thank you so much, Jose. He didn't have a comment along with it, but thank you with the $5 donation, Jose, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Jose.
No, and Bergie, I'm sure. Listen, I don't think if we don't get Lashley, we don't get De'Aaron King. I agree with you 100%. But at the end of the day, Manny's the one that got Brett Lashley,
right? Exactly.
So he has to be given the credit that when it comes to getting talent to come to Miami, whether it's coaching or because we all dislike Dan Enos. Okay, but let's not get it twisted. When we got, yeah, you're right. Anthony says if King went to Oklahoma, Rattler would have been in the portal. Yeah. and they're right. But they were still chasing De'Aaron. We can't rewrite history. When Manny went out and got Dan Enos was negotiating with Alabama his OC contract at Alabama. Right. Georgia was throwing a bunch of money at Dan Enos, trying to steal him away from Alabama. And Manny walks in and gets Dan Enos. Yes, it didn't work out, but the hire itself was huge at the time. So because it didn't turn out, you can't go back and say, you see, he wasn't all that anyway. Well, no, Alabama thought he was all that, and Georgia thought he was all that too.
Yeah.
So, you have to judge him fairly and in a balanced way, because you can't criticize on one end and then on the other end say, well, let's see what he does with the talent. No, and there's guys that don't blame Enos the way frankly the way I did. I've never seen a coach be more stubborn to his own detriment than Dan Enos. In all my life around football, I've never seen that. I've never seen a coach that something doesn't work, and he keeps trying to prove that he's going to make it work. I've never seen that, because to me, that is the opposite of what a good coach does. Anthony, I agree. Enos's role should, of course, he's not going to, because he has a big ego, he's going to want as much title and responsibility as he can, which now you see is not that easy, because now
he's going to want to redeem himself as well.
Correct. And he wants to redeem himself because of what happened in Central Michigan when he was head coach. So he wants to be a head coach. Dan Enos' perfect role is a QB coach. That's Dan Enos should not be anything more than a QB coach ever. Because I think he's a guy who is incapable of learning from his mistakes. Because anytime he makes one, he blames it on other people.
Bergie, I agree with your comment about him delivering this year, but not just delivering, but I just want to see.
Oh, Manny has to deliver. No.
Right, but I want to see less of the excuse making, less of the
accountability,
politician BS, more accountability, more changes, man. Like not waiting forever and not making executive decisions and maybe stepping in when he feels like he has to step in. Like, how long did it take for him to quote unquote take over some play calling duties and take some responsibility away from Blake Baker?
Yep.
You know, I want to see, and hopefully we're going to see that, man, because listen, it was his first year as a head coach. So you're going to see those growing pains. And yes, we did expect that. What we didn't expect was everything else to be garbage.
The lack of
Dan
will,
Enos, the offensive line,
and the lack of will and character from Manny to take the bull by the horn.
Right, to take the bull by the horn. So hopefully,
that's another good comment by Berg. You put Bergie's last comment on there too. Bergie's killing it with the comments. Good job, Bergie.
He said Coach Mark Rigg was pretty stubborn, honestly. I mean, he did come to his senses, but he took a beating before he figured it out. 100%. And that's coming from a coach that has how many years of experience?
Correct.
You know, so, I mean.
My problem with Dan Enos is I always think as a leader, the worst thing you could have is to be the guy who thinks he's the smartest guy in every single room he's in.
Yeah. No, Slim. We weren't planning on taking phone calls, man. But if you would like to call in, man, we'll probably open it up for the last few minutes of the show.
Yeah, we'll do that for you, Slim. If you want to call in, but that's the thing with Manny. And at the end of the day, here's what bothered me the absolute most.
Same to you, Alejandro. Blessings, my brother.
Blessings, Alejandro. The thing that bothered me the most about Manny, what do you say, Millie? Thank you so much for the donation, Millie.
He says, seems like our coaches lose a star too when they come to South Beach.
Hey, that's a perfect comment, Millie. You're absolutely right. Everybody was like, oh, Dan Enos is the man. Oh, wait, we got him. Yeah. That's true. That's true. Same thing with Lashley, too. It's like everybody is like, oh, Lashley's a hot commodity. Oh, we really got him? Oh, he was at SMU last year. I mean, it wasn't like, that's true, Millie. You're right. Anybody that comes this way loses a star. I think Junior and the Big Dog lost a star with YouTube too.
Shoot.
The thing with Manny that most bothered me, and that's what people don't understand. People think that, and I hope that people that were with us realize it, because I said it over and over again during the season. I said, guys, I'm not pissed off because of the record. I'm pissed off because of the way Manny is not changing the culture and not taking accountability for what's going on the field. That's the part. There was comments that Manny made that literally sounded like if he was a reporter covering the Hurricanes. Like if he was an innocent bystander. We have a lot of high maintenance players that are low production. Well, Manny, you think maybe we should get a head coach that can control that can stop that? Oh, wait, you are the head coach. Oh, what was it? He said, he blasted the players' culture, and then the following week we go out there against Duke, and then he goes, but everybody gave maximum effort. And I'm like, what game were you watching exactly?
Right.
Because that wasn't the same game I was watching.
I think he said the defense was not everybody. Yeah.
Okay. If it was the defense, listen, at the end of the day, the defense isn't why we went 6-7.
No.
It was the offense. Like, once again, why we went 6-7. Okay. So I'm not blaming the defense. Now, the defense didn't play up to the level of talent either.
It's also the kicker.
Yeah, and the kicker. You ain't kidding. And Manny made some serious James Julius. There you go. Go ahead and put James Julius's comment. Good comment, James. Go ahead and read.
The one mistake was Manny starting Scott Patchen the first 4 games of the year. Greg
5
possibly
games.
Wins.
James, 5 games of the year.
games for us with the pass was Patchen was a step away from that. Yeah.
Playing the best player on our team 20 snaps a game for 5 weeks. That's what they did. That's what Manny did. He played Greg Rousseau 20 snaps a game for 5 games. Now, people that wanted to say that Greg had an issue with his back, okay, we saw him play, and he was healthy enough to play 20 snaps. So if you're healthy enough to play 20 snaps for 5 weeks, you're healthy enough to play 40 snaps.
Yeah.
Okay, so and then you don't start him, and then the second game you start him, he's defensive team captain.
Terrell, what's going on, man? Haven't seen you in a minute. How's everything going?
What do you say, Terrell?
Hey, Bergie said Enos was like that. Enos was like that hot chick at the bar you really want to meet, so you do, and then she starts talking, you realize, oh no.
Oh, I have a story. But I had a buddy of mine that
That's hilarious.
uh, I had a buddy of mine back in the day when we had pagers. Page me with a 911 for because of something like that similar. It's like, yeah, all of a sudden you go somewhere. I remember I had when I was living in Texas, I had a date that when I was obviously single, I had a date that was beautiful, all those things, and about half an hour into the date, man, I was looking for an exit sign, really, really close because it was the boringest time I've ever had in my life.
What's up, Gallo Negro? Thomas Miles. What's going on, fellas? Hey, I think this is the most people we've had since the coronavirus.
I'm not commenting on that anymore.
So yeah, we got 70 people in here right now. I don't know how many likes we got, man. But if you guys haven't liked already, please do so, man. It'll really help us out. If you guys are new here, please subscribe to Junior the Big Dog. We go live every single Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern time, as well as we do player breakdowns. We cover recruiting, and we do post game, pre game. We do it all. Obviously, things are a little slow right now because of the virus and because there's no football going on. But when things start picking back up, you are going to want to be subscribed, man. And if you are, double check, man, and hit the notification bell. Unclick it, click it again, just to make sure everybody gets the notification sent out, man. So hit that bell twice, man, so you get notified anytime me and the Big Dog do upload a video, man. If you're watching us on Facebook, please like our page. And if you don't follow us on Facebook, you're probably not missing much because I haven't been very active on our Junior the Big Dog Facebook page lately, but I will get on that, man.
Stunner Boy Kane says you're rocking the 300 style beard.
Oh, yeah. This is not coming off until we get a go ahead that football's back.
Yeah.
So I think this is probably the longest. You guys can't really tell, but I never have my beard this long. But it is what it is, man. And the Big Dog has a pretty long beard as well.
Yeah, I definitely. I gotta trim this. I gotta trim this. It's starting to get to the fact I can actually use it as a pillow now. It's getting so big and bushy. Millie with
What's up, Taz?
Thank you, Millie.
Millie with another dono, man. Thank you so much, Hurricane Millie. He says one of Manny Diaz's quotes: "What is on the table today is not an offer; it's a demand. We're still waiting."
Yep. Yeah, but I mean, Millie, that's the thing. Now, again, I think we should be fair and again talk about all those ancillary things in terms of recruiting and listen. I didn't think he was going to have the guts to just pull the plug and fire Enos. And to his credit, he had the courage and the fortitude to do it and basically admitted a mistake. Okay, so I have to hand it to him and hand that to him about the recruiting and all those ancillary things. But make no mistake, what happened last year on the field, the buck stops with Manny Diaz. And Manny is the author of that 6-7 record. And he got it by allowing guys to do less than what they should. Captain Trips with a donation. Thank you, Captain Trips.
He said you order your Tua jersey yet, Big Dog? And it's funny. I think who else? Was it Anthony? He said, "Are we going to address this draft by Miami?" I don't know. If you want to hear Junior the Big Dog argue a little bit, then
I didn't like our third. I was okay.
No. I don't want you. I don't want you backpedaling on nothing.
No.
That you said.
I don't backpedal.
All right.
You know me. I don't backpedal.
All right.
Okay. I wanted Herbert instead of Tua, so I wasn't happy with the Tua pick. And you saw the Chargers were very happy getting Herbert right after that. I was very happy with Austin Jackson. Love that pick. He's 20 years old, so slow your roll. Don't expect him to be out there at left tackle right away. Right. Okay, that young man is he needs some time. Okay, incredibly athletic. He is, in terms of an athlete at left tackle, the best athlete in a great draft of left tackles. In a great draft of track tackles, Austin Jackson's the most talented. he's also the rawest of the
the rawest, but I
top
think,
tier guys.
but you can make a case that he's also probably one of the tackles that has the most upside
No, he is
and the
he is
most room for growth.
tackle. He is the tackle in this draft, in this really rich tackle draft. He is the tackle with the highest upside.
Yeah,
by far.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna say by far because the other ones were really good too.
Yeah,
but I'll say by a substantial amount. I love the Austin Jackson pick. Absolutely loved it. Our third first rounder, I think we threw it in the garbage with Noah. Igwebuni. I can't even pronounce his name.
Just call him Noah.
But picking a slot corner in the first round when you have as many holes as Miami has on their roster was a stupid pick.
Yeah,
I was not pulling punches.
You still had McKinney on the board, the safety from Alabama. You still had Swift.
Still had Jonathan Taylor.
Still had
a bunch of people on the board.
There wasn't a running back yet picked.
Correct. Slim with another donation. Thank you so much, Slim. Have the Dolphins addressed how Tua and his Walker will fit in the huddle.
I'll tell you what, man.
I'll tell you.
It makes me nervous, but hey, if it works out, if he stays healthy, the Dolphins struck gold. It was always tank for Tua. It was always tank for Tua. If Tua doesn't break that hip, I mean, there's a conversation to be made on where the Bengals were going to go. I mean, it's hard to pass up the greatest single season by a quarterback in college football history, which is what Joe Burrow had. Yeah. So Joe Burrow still might have been the number one pick, but the conversation would have been there if Tua never would have got hurt. So the fact that Tua still dropped the Dolphins at 5, obviously because of that injury, assuming he stays healthy. I mean, you have doctors that said that, listen, I mean, it looks like the left, what was it? Because it was his right hip. So, and it looked just like the left hip even after the surgery. Take that for what it's worth. That's coming from doctors, so we'll see. But there are also people that say that he might need a hip replacement in a few years. So I mean, it depends.
The reality. Here's the reality. At Alabama, where he had enormous talent around him on the offensive line, where he wasn't getting hit consistently. Okay, he had a sprained knee, both of his ankles operated on, a fractured pelvis, and a dislocated hip in 2 years of starting. Okay, now you can say he also, the previous year, he also had the highest quarterback rating in history. Mm-hmm. Okay, so his talent's not deniable, I don't think. Anthony with the donation. Thank you so much, Anthony. He said, I wanted McKinney at 30 and Taylor at 39.
Oh, yeah.
Anthony, I would have been jumping up and down if he would have done that.
Yep.
Because I know everybody had DeAndre Swift as the number one running back, and it ended up being Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
And he went in the first round for the Chiefs.
He went right behind the Dolphins, right behind when the Dolphins picked.
No, because the Dolphins were 30th.
Right, and the Chiefs were 32nd.
Right, so it wasn't right.
Well, I'm not saying one behind, but yeah,
I don't know. Okay, yeah.
But I would have. Yeah, I would have.
I think that was a good trade. What the Dolphins did, getting a 4th rounder from the Packers, and then they went and got Jordan Love. I have no idea why they did that, but whatever. I think it was a good trade. They got a 4th rounder, which they ended up giving up again to get. Who was it that they got with that pick, big dog? Was it Robert Hull?
What? No, I thought it was the guard.
Yeah, Robert Hull. Well, he plays right tackle. He played right tackle, but he's.
I think it was the guard at Bama.
It was that huge
Solomon Kinley.
It was. So they
we moved up to get him.
We moved up, so we basically moved up that 4th pick, and we ended up getting him.
You know, so, I think that's what happens sometimes when you give an inexperienced GM too many options in that first round, is you start getting ahead of yourself. And you have to remember, right now, the Dolphins are in the talent acquisition phase. Okay? So you don't look at, because at best,
I think Weaver was a good pick.
At best, what Noah's going to develop into is a slot corner. So you went for a 3-corner in the first round when you had all these other holes out there. Okay, then we don't make that trade where we gave up a pick for Matt Breida if we get Jonathan Taylor at 39.
But you still got to give credit. Okay, what if I were to tell you that was a comp because the Niners were going to get rid of a Breida no matter what?
Yeah, but the Dolphins would not have made that deal for Breida if we would have picked up one of the big time running backs.
Okay,
we
but
already
the
had
fact of the
Jordan
matter,
Howard.
Fine, big dog. But the fact of the matter is that they did get Breida for a 5th rounder.
Correct. And then you gave up one of those big time running backs who can end up being the mail carrier for your team. Okay, the workhorse for your team, the explosive guy for your team.
I think they're expecting a lot out of Jordan Howard, and Breida's going to be that change of pace back.
Okay, hold on. You're not going to tell me that Breida, Jordan Howard put together have the ceiling that Jonathan Taylor or DeAndre Swift have.
I mean, we'll see, man.
No.
First of all, running backs are not used in today's NFL the way they used to be used.
That's BS.
That's not BS. Look how much these running backs are getting paid right now.
Because they're
name me the last Super Bowl team that had one of the top running backs in the league. I'll wait.
Because they're not around. Because all the guys that are around now carry it and get 8 yards and tap their helmets.
Okay,
that's why you don't have it. But the guys like Ezekiel Elliott, like Saquon Barkley, those guys still have their value.
Where are they taking their teams?
Dude, I'm not saying that a running back is more important than a quarterback. What I'm saying is if you have one of those horses that is an every down back, okay, like those Saquons, like those Ezekiel Elliott's, like those guys that are limited. I mean, there's 5, 6, 7 right now that you could say are in that group, maybe even less.
Where has McCaffrey taken the Panthers?
Okay, where has Derrick Henry taking Ryan Tannehill? Derrick Henry took Ryan Tannehill to the AFC Championship.
That's not gonna happen again, though.
Eliminated the New England Patriots and the 14-2 Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, he couldn't be.
Derrick Henry, who hasn't ever been that guy until this year.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so that's the thing is Matt Breida and Jordan Howard, they're already basically at their ceilings. If anything,
we'll see. Jordan Howard's 25 years old, man.
But he has miles on him too.
He has some miles.
People want to say Jonathan Taylor has miles on him, but he's never missed a practice.
That's fine.
Okay, so
I understand what you're saying. My only disagreement, like I understand, I think Noah is a decent player. I don't think he's a first round pick, frankly. I don't think he's a early second round pick. So I think the Dolphins did botch that 3rd pick. But what I will say about the running backs, listen, man.
Okay,
the Dolphins had to build. The Dolphins, I think their strategy was let's build up on the trenches, let's get a quarterback, and then the following year we have a lot of picks as well. We'll start tackling some skill positions.
That's where GMs make the big mistake. Is a pick, you should never make a pick that isn't a value pick ever. Okay? Yeah. If you look at great talent, the people that stock teams, what do? They make every pick count. Okay? So if we pick Xavier McKinney with the 30th pick, we're not having this conversation.
I get it.
Okay? Because you're picking a guy who projects to being a starting high caliber safety. But what you pick was a slot corner and you reach for him at that.
I get it.
That's the thing.
I get it.
That's the thing.
I get it. But overall,
thank you, baby Shaq. That's exactly what I was saying.
Overall, I think,
as you can tell, Junior and I went round and round. Now, is it a death sentence?
No, we went round and round because you gave the Dolphins like a terrible grade
because I
for the draft.
Because I really
right,
that
but
pick,
still, I think on day 2 and I think on day 3, I think they did it very good.
Yeah, they did better. They absolutely did better. I agree with that. And that's why I went up to C+ on them on the draft. I went up to C+. But the thing is, after that first round, I was like, you basically took a pick What is it that I think it was Bill Polian. Bill Polian says that in the first round, you want nothing but Pro Bowl players. Top 10, you want Hall of Famers, but you want Pro Bowl caliber players in that first round.
Yeah, Noah's just never gonna.
He's a
Noah's
slot corner.
never gonna. He's gonna be the slot corner.
He's
Yeah,
a
I get it.
corner. And I'm not saying in today's NFL, a slot corner has value. Okay,
It does have value, but it doesn't have first round. Not only does it not have first round value, it doesn't have first round value when you're a team like the Dolphins and you have so many holes.
Now, if you get a slot corner who in the future, when Byron Jones and Xavier Howard are up for a different contract, that maybe he transitions to being a shutdown corner on the outside, but that's not who Noah is.
It could be.
No, that's not who Noah is.
It could be. Why not?
I don't see him being a shutdown corner in the NFL. Ever.
It could be good.
I don't see that as a ceiling ever. So that's, and in the first round, that should be your ceiling. And with Xavier McKinney, you have that ceiling.
Yeah, I get it.
So
I get it. That was the only pick that was kind of like, come on, man.
What do you say, George? George says, "What's the phone number, please, George? If we do calls here towards the end of the show, if people want to do calls, we'll put it out there."
Yeah, we'll put it out there. Rest in peace to Don Shula. Absolutely, man. Rest in peace to Don
absolutely,
Shula.
Guys. Absolutely.
Legend, man. Talking about the Dolphins.
Yeah, legend. You know, the thing is, I tweeted out, I think, and I talked about it when I was on with Wholesome the other night. You know, what does this say about someone who is the winningest coach in the history of the premier sport of our times? And yet when he passes away, people are talking about he's even better as a man. He was even a greater human being than he was a coach.
True.
And
he's the reason why the Dolphins are top 10 in winning percentage. Absolutely. Still to this day. As bad as we've been for as long as we've been bad, and we're still top 10 when it comes to
Don Shula, coach in the NFL, okay, and basically averaged 10 wins a season at a 67% winning clip.
Yeah, James Julius, I did see that. Sometimes those if you look at Noah's tape, he got away with a few PIs.
He got away with a bunch of PIs.
With a few, man. Stop knocking Noah, all right?
He panics. When the ball comes close, he panics.
He doesn't panic. He's in your pocket. He's in your pocket, though.
Yeah, of course. He has to be able to commit the PI penalty.
No, I'm saying he's really good on tape. He doesn't have that much experience playing corner either, man. So
he does. So you pick him in the first round.
I'm just saying, man.
That's my point. You don't.
Okay.
If Noah would have been
that's
a third
not
round
Noah's
pick,
fault.
I'd been fine.
Fault.
Okay, that's my point. If Noah was a third rounder, I would have been fine. Right. Also saying that Don Shula turned Miami into football city. Austin, he turned Miami, and I said it again when I was on with Wholesome the other night. I was born in 1965. So when I was 5 years old, that's like I was football crazy and have been so for the rest of my life. Don Shula came to Miami when I was 5 years old. He turned Miami into a big league city, period.
Yeah. Because
we had the coach that was already viewed as being the best coach in pro football because Vince Lombardi passed away in 1970. So Shula was already viewed as being the heir apparent, the next Vince Lombardi. And Miami got him where he could have gone anywhere he wanted to almost. Okay. That was huge for the city. And he also, with those Dolphins, what they did in the early 70s, really brought the community together. Shula, I'll tell you what, that expressway is well named because his impact on the community of South Florida, and from somebody that lived there for, a vast majority of my life, I can tell you was immeasurable, because it was the first person that made Miami. Because you have to remember, the Dolphins, we were an AFL team. We weren't even in the NFL. So now the 70s, when the full merger happened, the merger was signed years earlier, which is why the Super Bowl started, after the 66 season. So the merger was in 1970. is when Miami became part of the NFL. So Shula going to Miami by itself stamped it as a major league team and stamped Miami as a major league city. And that's something that'll never. George was born in 1960. He says he remembers every minute of it. That was huge. People forget the Dolphins had to give up a first-round draft choice for stealing Shula away. They didn't really steal him because they actually asked permission, and the owner's son gave them permission. But then when the owner got back from the Orient, he said, "Oh no," and then they ended up getting a first-round draft pick, which ended up being Don McCauley. And but that's the thing with Shula is his impact on our community can't be measured like a football coach. It can't. It has to be measured as a man and a guy who just did it right with integrity. Was as competitive as they come, but wouldn't cheat. Larry Zonka told a story about him finding the Raiders' game plan before a game and giving it to Manny Clark. And then when Manny Clark went to give it to Shula threw it in the garbage, or told him to throw it in the garbage because he wouldn't cheat. He want to beat your brains in and try to find every edge he could, but he wouldn't cheat to do it. So he was a man of high integrity and high honor. And man, he leaves a vacuum because there won't be any more Don Shulas. He's the last of his breed, and you have to give it to him. So, rest in peace, and obviously prayers with his family and friends and his former players, man. If you talk to his former players, their stories that they want to talk about after Shula passed away have very little to do with football. It has to do with the type of man that Don Shula was, and that's something that those players, they lost a father figure. They didn't lose a coach. So, yeah, I'm with you, Bergie. I'm with you. It was Shula definitely deserved better. He should have been able to call his own shot when he left, and he was forced out the door. And I'll tell you what, the curse of Shula is live and well because we've never been as good as we were with Shula.
So, yeah, hey, I was definitely surprised that Shaq was the first Kane drafted. I was also surprised that Hill didn't get drafted. I was surprised that
I was surprised of Hill. I wasn't surprised so much about Jeff Thomas because of all
I wasn't surprised at Jeff Thomas.
Yeah, with all the outside. I was surprised that Pinkney didn't get drafted. I was surprised
that Pinkney. I thought Pinkney was going to go before Shaq in the draft.
Yeah. I thought Pinkney had more NFL upside.
I thought Hill or Garvin were possibly going to be the first Canes to be drafted.
But
look how it turned out.
Yeah. But Shaq. But Pinkney, I think Shaq didn't test as badly as they thought.
Right.
But I think they expected a lot more from Pinkney. And Pinkney didn't. Then it turns out he's not even 6 foot tall.
Right.
He's 5'11".
Right.
And that's sort of a knock there on Pinkney.
Hill also had his character issues. But they're all getting their shot, man. But it's pretty cool. DJ, I wanted to get DJ. I think the Seahawks picked, I think it was like 2 picks ahead of us, and I wanted to get DJ. So that's pretty cool. You got DJ and Travis together now in the NFL. So
yeah,
that's pretty cool, man. Now I wasn't surprised with Bandy either.
Yeah, I wasn't surprised with Bandy at all.
No, but yeah, they're all getting the shot, man.
But we are going to have some first rounders next year. I can tell you that much. But we should, Bergie thought that Garvin would have been the first off the board. Bergie, I would have thought if you would have put a gun to my head and I had to make a bet, I would probably have bet Garvin.
Me too.
I would have probably bet Garvin, but I didn't really test that badly. I think he tested at 4.82 in the 40, which isn't terrible for DN. It isn't great for a pass rushing DN, but it isn't terrible.
Yeah.
It's just funny if I would have told you that Joe Jackson would test better than Jonathan Garvin, you wouldn't have believed it. And he did. Because Joe Jackson ran a 4.77.
Right.
So.
Love me some JJ, man.
Yeah.
I miss JJ.
JJ, I'm going to tell you right now, I think he's going to be a solid NFL player for a long time. I'm not saying he's not going to be all pro.
No, he's not.
But he's going to be a solid NFL player with a good career. With a really good career. So.
Yeah. It's gonna be cool seeing DJ in the NFL. I like that.
Yeah, I like DJ. I mean,
I'm gonna-
DJ, Travis Homer. I mean, there's guys. Listen, at the end of the day, we root for all Hurricanes. You know, we root for all Hurricanes, and if you're a Cane man, and you make it. Was anybody shocked at Tommy Kennedy last? I'm sorry, I just had to say it.
Yeah.
But
KJ to the Vikings, yeah, absolutely, man.
yeah, KJ, that's a dude. You know what? That's a dude that's gonna be successful. Period.
Oh yeah,
KJ, he's gonna make the most of it. He'll play special teams. That's a dude that even after football, you know for a fact KJ Osborne is gonna be a success in life. Period. Yeah. Period. Because you can't approach life the way KJ approaches it without a lot of good things happening to you along the way.
Yeah.
You know? So KJ, I have no concerns about. I know KJ for a fact is gonna outperform his draft status. But I'm glad he got drafted.
Yeah. He could be a nice little weapon in the NFL, man.
I think so. And he tested what? Didn't he run like a 4.48? I think that KJ ran pretty close to what Jeff Thomas ran.
He did. He did run close to what Jeff ran.
Yeah, you guys fact check me on that, but I'm pretty sure that KJ ran really close to what Jeff Thomas ran.
Yeah,
which I think a lot of people were surprised. They thought Jeff Thomas was going to test higher.
Yeah. Hey, Gallo Negro, I don't know if we're going to open up the phone lines tonight, man. But we need to harass me. Why, man? Maybe we'll open them up next week.
But you want to open the phone lines when they want to harass me. That's now they want to harass you.
No. Cool.
I'm just messing with you.
They work hard. They're relentless. Yeah, 100%, Barry.
What's
that there's a reason why guys like Shaq and KJ get drafted, man, because they work hard. They're relentless.
Listen, that's one thing I have seen in the. Oh, that's right. So KJ actually had a faster 40 than GT4. That's one of the things that I think there's been a culture change in the NFL. What you're seeing in drafts nowadays isn't what you used to see 20 years ago. 20 years ago, guys with high talent. Now, mind you, guys with high talent, people will still take a chance on them nowadays, but they won't draft them as high. You know, and the guys that didn't have production and have off-field issues won't get drafted at all.
Right.
You know, and a guy like Jeff Thomas 20 years ago would have been drafted in the 4th round. Nowadays, they won't get drafted because NFL scouts are a lot more in tune that off the field issues a lot of times equals diminished production. You know, and then when you have to deal with things like the suspensions with the CBA and those type of things, now you're adding drama to your team, and coaches don't want that anymore. It used to be take a shot on him. Oh, he's talented. Take a shot on him. Nowadays, they want solid citizens too, man.
Yeah. Hey, Big Dog, I want you to try to pronounce Noah's last name.
I'm good.
Come on, man. I pulled up the pronunciation.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Tell me what the pronunciation is.
Spelled IGBINOGHENE.
Well, it's easy. It's Noah. I can't believe Chris Greer drafted me in the 1st round. That's the way you pronounce it. Isn't that the way you pronounce it, guys? Noah, I can't believe Chris Greer drafted me in the 1st round.
Oh my God.
That's how you pronounce his last name.
I got it. You ready?
Tua's easy. Tua is Tagovailoa. Everybody struggles with Tua. I don't see why.
You ready?
Go ahead.
All right.
Iguabahini?
No.
Okay.
Noah Igbinogany.
Noah Igbinogany.
There you go.
That's not too bad. Noah Igbinogany. Okay, I can do that. I like my pronunciation better.
Igbinogany.
Igbinogany. Yeah.
Igbinogany, chico.
Yeah.
Igbinogany, chico.
I still think it's Noah. I can't believe Chris Greer drafted me in the 1st round. But anyways.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I think he will surprise himself.
Oh, you know he was surprised.
He
You know
was.
he was surprised. But you know what? I hope the young man has a tremendous career. I mean, he does. There is talent there, and listen, when you have when your mom and your dad are both Olympic athletes, you're probably going to turn out to be a pretty good athlete. So,
Sammy's telling me, no, that's wrong, Junior.
is wrong? Is it wrong, Sammy? It's a hard name to pronounce.
Igbin Oghani.
Ibn Al-Ghani.
Ibn Oghani, man.
Okay. No, can we just do
Ibn
Noah?
Oghani.
Noah I. We'll just do Noah I.
I'm gonna start calling myself Ibn Oghani. All right, man.
Yeah, no, I do like our corners. Slim Shady with a donation. Thank you. Thank you.
How am I wrong, Sammy? How am I saying it wrong, man? Ibn Oghani.
Slim Shady fact check. He said, yeah, JT ran a 4.45, and Osborne ran a 4.8. I actually thought JT had ran a 4.8 too. I thought that was his official time. I know he ran a 4. I mean, 4.4.
Yes, you're right. He did run a 4.48.
No, he says Osborne ran a 4.48. That JT ran a 4.45.
That's what you said originally. That Osborne ran a 4.48.
Oh, right. Yeah, but I thought JT's official time was also 4.48. Even though I know he ran a 4.45, I think officially they because sometimes they do that. Sometimes they readjust the time. I mean, a little here and a little there, but that's what I thought. But anyways, nobody would have thought that if you would have looked at it and KJ's a $190 and JT4 is a $170. JT4 was the lightest. If I'm not mistaken, I think he was the lightest player at the combine.
No, I'm not sure.
I think JT4 was the lightest player at the combine. He was 170 pounds. And KJ's 190, a lot more solid. And taller too, because he's KJ's what a real almost 6'1". I think he's just over 6 feet, but he's almost 6'1". So I mean, when you look at those two things, and I know that somebody had said, I think I was talking. Who was I talking to? I think it was Adam Nolan, who's on our show. Oh, thank you so much, Bergie.
Bergie with a $10 donation. I
can't thank you so much.
Either, and I'm not gonna try. But here's to hoping the kid makes a Pro Bowl and balls out hard for us. Great show, guys. Thanks for everything. Thank you so much,
thank
Bergie.
You,
I really
Bergie.
appreciate that.
Thank you so much, Bergie.
I hope he does make the Pro Bowl because I've been teasing Big Dog about that ever since we drafted him, man. It's crazy. These sites that give out grades and whatnot. Everybody loved that Noah pick. Everybody gave it an A+.
And but that's why those people don't know their butts in the hole of ground.
Watch, I'm gonna get you a Noah.
That was a terrible, terrible pick. And it's not. And like I said, if that player gets drafted, if we draft him in the 3rd round, like we should have, I would have thought that was a good pick. I would have liked the pick.
They're right.
But drafting him in even in the high 2nd, I thought would have been a terrible pick. I thought he would be a late 2nd at best.
It's a pass happy league. The Dolphins threw out their 6 DBs 29% of the time last year.
No, that's like that's like. That's like you have you're bleeding from a gunshot
but
wound.
It's true, man.
You're bleeding from a gunshot wound in your stomach.
They played man-to-man coverage, top 5 in the NFL.
Doesn't matter. That's like if you're bleeding from a gunshot wound in your stomach and you instead put a Band-Aid on your hangnail. That's what the Dolphins did by drafting a slot corner.
Sammy, that's not what Google says, man.
Google. Well, if Google said it, you know it's wrong. You know it's wrong.
Igbin Oghani.
I don't believe Google.
Oghani.
But anyways, yeah, we needed. No, I do like Jackson. I do love the Jackson pick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sammy's putting out. He says, "Big no Genny." So he has an Igby no Genny. Igby no Genny.
Igbin Oghani. I already have it down.
All right. I'll call him Noah I.
No, let's go with Igbin Oghani. You imagine you're at the stadium, makes a hard tackle. Let's go, Igbin Oghani. People won't look at you like, yeah.
Let's see. Let's see how things. There's a lot of when you watch his tape. There's a lot of good and there's a lot of bad, which is not a first rounder. A first rounder has a lot of good and not a lot of bad. But anyway,
we'll see. I think I gave him a solid B- in the draft.
well, we're not that far away. Then I gave him a C plus. It wasn't like we're like that far away.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what. If it big, damn
At
it,
the end of the day, that draft is going to be judged by one guy. That's the truth.
a big Ogani.
That draft is going to be judged by Tua. You know, that's what people are going to judge that draft on.
Nah, man. Let me tell you something. What are you gonna say?
If Tua pans out, people will go, yeah, wow. And if Tua doesn't pan out, they'll call it a horrible draft, no matter what anybody else does. That's the reality of it.
Oh no.
Tua will make or break the Dolphins draft this year.
You know what's gonna be crazy if Jonathan Taylor like rushes for like 1,500 yards for the first year.
And Xavier McKinney also.
You know what?
Is he gonna be?
I'm not even like I understand a lot of people wanted McKinney. I liked Delpit more than McKinney, and I said that all along.
That's fine. Draft Delpit.
No, I get it, but I don't think Delpit was a first round pick. But I would like
was a better pick than Noah.
Huh?
Even
nah, he was not a better pick than Bino.
You gotta be crazy. You're gonna tell me
kidding. Relax, man. Yeah, man. You see, you start going crazy, man.
That's
you're never gonna let go of that pick.
Because if
listen,
there was so many picks.
That's the only pick that we messed up. That's the only.
But it's a biggie.
Okay, but it's the only pick we messed up.
If he would have messed up on a 5th rounder, I wouldn't have been that upset. He messed up on the 30th pick of the draft.
Big no goni.
But anyways,
maybe Shaq is saying big no goni.
I'm saying that if he makes the Pro Bowl, I'll figure out how to say his name. It's that. Listen, Slim.
I'm getting Big Dog a jersey. If he makes a Pro Bowl.
I'm going to root for the young man, and I hope he makes it big. And that's what one of the things. The way I judge things, I don't judge things with hindsight, because anybody can judge it with hindsight.
He ain't that bad, baby.
If you wait 5 years and then see how all the picks turn out, anybody can judge that. What I judge on is the information that you have at the time.
Hey, and hold on.
Information that we had at the time, Noah was a bad pick.
But listen. He says Ibinogani is an ass slapping player, big dog. Orange and green blood says so. You know, slap ass.
Anyway, no, but that was my only thing on that, man. That's the only thing on that. It was.
Hey, Ro, does that Tua jersey come with insurance or no?
That's right. The Tua jersey's gonna show up and it's gonna be on the DL. Oh man, I don't mean the down low. I mean the disabled list.
I hope not, man. I hope not.
Listen, of course, man. Nobody. I mean, I don't hope injury on any young man. I mean, it's. But man,
hey, if he stays healthy, we struck gold, man.
If he stays healthy, we have ourselves a very lucky Mark Brunell. That's what we have. When people think that's the comparison.
When you say that, big dog, it just sounds bad.
Mark Brunell was a very good quarterback when he was healthy. The problem with Brunell was
so you don't think Tua could be great.
Mark Brunell could have been great if he would have been healthy. If he wasn't injury prone.
That's what I'm saying. Okay. That's what I'm saying. That clarify for the chat. What do you mean when you say Mark Brunell? So when I think Mark Brunell, I'm like, that's his ceiling, like the Mark Brunell that we saw
when he was healthy.
That's what that. But if you look at Mark Brunell's career, I mean, he had an okay career.
2 seasons of playing every game. His entire career.
No, I know.
Every other season he was hurt.
But one of those seasons, he threw for 19 TDs and 19 touchdowns and 20 interceptions.
Yeah, but it was also a team that, I mean, listen, you also have to look at the context of the team. Brunell was better than that.
Brunell,
was playing banged up.
If Brunell would have stayed healthy, he would have been really, really good.
Exactly. I give Tua, but that's who his playing style. Their playing styles are identical. Brunell and Tua's playing styles are literally identical. The difference is, I think Tua has an edge on him in preciseness and ball placement over Brunell. But other than that, they're identical. Now let's just hope he stays healthy.
I think Tua has a quicker release too.
Those comparisons, Anthony, but those comparisons of Tua being like Steve Young, get that out of your head, because Tua stays healthy, he will not be the quarterback that Steve Young was. Ever. Steve Young was a much better athlete than Tua, even before the injuries. Now, was he better? He's not way better than Brunell. He was better. He could be better than Brunell. But his ceiling, Brunell's ceiling was never reached because of all the injuries. So Brunell would have been Brunell played, I think it was like 3 Pro Bowls. So let's not make it like he was a scrub.
I think it was 2. Could have been 3.
Could have been 2, but I thought he made like 3 Pro Bowls. But so it wasn't like he's a scrub. Now, do I think Tua's ceiling is higher? Yes. But in terms of him being Steve Young and all this stuff, the only thing they have in comparison is they're both lefties. That's about it. Because Tua, before he got hurt, wasn't the athlete Steve Young was.
Damn, big dog, you're right. Three Pro Bowls, man. 3
Pro Bowls. The dude made 3 Pro Bowls. He wasn't a scrub. He wasn't Jay Feely. He wasn't. What was that? Cleo Lemon. Okay, Brunell was a good NFL quarterback. And
in 1996, he threw for 4,367 yards.
There you go. In 15 games, I think, because I think he still missed a game that year.
No, that was one of the full seasons.
That was one of the full seasons. Okay.
His only 2 full seasons was in 96 and in 2000.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. I mean, that's the thing. It's not a knock. And listen, like I said, Brunell would have been pretty damn good. But this thing that people's like, oh, he's going to be like Steve Young. No, he's not. He's not. Steve Young is on a whole different level of athlete than Tua.
Yeah. Hey, Bergie makes a good point.
What's that?
Tua doesn't have the advantage of walking into a Super Bowl ready team like Young did.
Also true.
That's a fact.
Also true.
That's a fact.
I mean, but Steve Young as an athlete was.
Oh yeah, no, he was. Forget about it.
A different dude.
Yeah, he was.
Than Tua.
He was.
I mean, Steve Young, people say he could have played in the NFL as a running back.
Yeah.
I mean, Steve Young was a serious 4-5 stud athlete. Okay, and it's just what it was. But you're right. But then again, remember, Steve Young didn't start off in the NFL with the 49ers. He started off in the NFL with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That people forget. Now, Steve Young in the USFL set all kinds of records when he first came out of Brigham Young.
Yeah.
Okay. Then he went to the NFL with the Tampa Bay Bucks, the horrible Buccaneers back then when they were terrible. Okay. And struggled. And then he went to the 49ers. Okay. But at the same time, you could say, yes, Steve Young at the 49ers flourished and they were the best team in football. Okay. How hard is it to take the job from, at the time, the greatest quarterback in history, Joe Montana, which Steve Young also did? Because people forget that. There's a reason why the 49ers decided to trade Joe Montana to the Chiefs and to keep Steve Young. Because when they knew, and I get it, Young was younger and more durable at that time than Montana. Montana only had a couple years left. But they still kept Steve Young and traded away Joe Montana.
Yeah.
So it tells you how special Steve Young is, and he's in camp.
Hey, we got another donation. Slim Shady, man, you've been blowing us up today with these donos, man. Thank you so much, man. He says Chris Winkie was great when he wasn't hurt too. That's why he won the Heisman at 35 years old.
He was older. He wasn't 35, but he was like 26, I think, when he won the Heisman. But Wenke, even in the NFL, was when he was healthy, wasn't a good player. I mean, what Wenke was like Brandon Weeden. He got a little bit more of a shot than Brandon Weeden, but he was one of these older guys who's just older, but had already reached the ceiling and never developed to being an NFL player. Mark Brunell was a good player. People forget those Jaguar teams of the mid and late 90s. They were actually a more talented team than the greatest show on turf. The problem with the Jaguars is the injuries hit, because they not only lost Brunell for big stretches, they lost Tony Baselli, who at the time was as good of a left tackle as there was in football. And Tony Baselli's career was ended because of injuries.
They went 10-3 in 98, and they went 13-2 in 99.
that they went 14-2 in 99 because Brunell missed a game. But that year, they went undefeated against the entire NFL and lost 3 games, all to the Tennessee Titans. 2 in the regular season and then in the AFC Championship game. But that year, the Jaguars went 14-2 without a loss against anybody in the NFL that wasn't the Titans, who then beat them and then came a yard away from from tying the Rams in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, no, I got the. It just kind of like when you say that, because I didn't see the late '90s Bruno. I saw the early 2000s.
Right. Yeah. When basically he had already been through the ringer,
right
out the other end. Yeah. And Sigmund brings up a great case, Steve McNair. That's one of my favorite QBs.
Man, Steve McNair.
Sigmund, I'll give you an idea. You want my opinion on Steve McNair? I'll tell you my opinion on Steve McNair. If it wasn't for the fact that he was too damn tough for his own good, okay, that was the flaw in Steve McNair, is that he had no self-preservation bone in his body.
Yeah.
Okay. Dude played with a bruised sternum. There's few injuries in the world that are as painful as a bruised sternum. And Steve McNair played with a bruised sternum. Okay, where breathing hurts. That's how bad that is. And oh, by the way, they can't shoot it up like they can in other places because you can't relax those muscles because those muscles allow you to breathe.
Right.
Okay, so Steve McNair had to me, would have been a first ballot Hall of Famer, hands down, if it wasn't for his flaw, which was he was so damn tough that he kept taking unnecessary hits after unnecessary hits. And sooner or later, everybody's body breaks down. But to me, Steve McNair in his prime was an all-time great quarterback. All-time great.
Yeah.
So
Tua equals the left-handed Russell Wilson.
Russell has. I mean, listen, if Tua stays healthy, that's probably a decent comparison of what he can be. I think Russell's probably a little better than him as an athlete.
Right, that's what I was gonna say. And Russell's a lot better throwing on the run than Tua.
Yeah, he's better. He's a better athlete than Tua, and I think Russell has a stronger arm than Tua also. But
Tua has a nice arm though.
Yeah, Russell has a much stronger arm. Russell has a stronger arm. Listen, you don't see Russell underthrowing the deep ball.
No, you don't.
In the NFL,
you don't see Tua on throwing the deep ball.
No, but let's see. Let's see, because a lot of his passes were short. Tua's very accurate at short passes, man. That's the one thing Tua has at an elite level. You take those passes 10, 15 yards from the line of scrimmage, Tua's ball placement is to next level elite.
Right.
Next level elite.
Yeah.
Now, longer passes, Tua's okay. He's okay, but not at all like what Justin Herbert is. With Herbert's a flip. So that's it. We'll see. Listen, at the end of the day, I do believe that if Tua stays healthy by some miracle, I think he will be a really.
You got to throw that in there by some miracle.
Dude, I really believe
if he stays healthy, he'll have a better career than Justin Herbert. Say that.
No.
Say that. You fell so in love with Herbert. Like, I wanted Herbert over Tua. You went head over heels with Herbert.
I'll tell you this much. If I was George with a donation, he says, all I really care about is Florida versus Miami in 2024.
Thank you, George.
If I was the Cincinnati Bengals, I would have taken Joe Burrow. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
But I would have definitely talked to Justin Herbert too.
What?
I would have talked to Justin Herbert too. I would have evaluated Justin Herbert too.
Why?
I think he was close enough to at least consider it.
No, you're crazy. Stop it. Stop it right now.
Dude.
I'm putting you on mute.
Understand what I'm saying. I'm not saying I said I would have drafted Joe Burrow.
So why are you going to entertain Herbert?
I'll tell you why. Because let's say the Detroit Lions would have fell in love with Joe Burrow. If the Lions would have given me the house, all these tons of draft picks for me to swap Burrow and Herbert, where I could still pick Herbert and end up with like 3 first-rounders extra, I would have done the deal. That's what I'm saying. You still evaluate him. Okay, but if I was the Bengals, I would have picked Burrow. So I'm not saying that I like Burrow better than Herbert. What I'm saying is Herbert's ceiling is at that level. Not that, to me, those quarterbacks, I think if Tua stays healthy, I absolutely could see Tua raising a Super Bowl trophy. I could see Tua as a Pro Bowler. I could see Tua as an All-Pro if he stays healthy. Okay? I'm a big believer that there's bodies that are made for football and there's bodies that are not made for football. I had this conversation with Wholesome the other day. Okay, if people that knew me when I was young, what is invariably things that you would hear, or that saw me when I was still athletic? Oh, it's a shame what happened to his knees, right? Isn't that what you hear people? You've heard it. How many times you've heard people say that?
Yeah.
Okay, here's the truth. The truth is my body was not made to deal with those types of things. I ended up with 32 surgeries as it was. Okay. I would have ended up being a guy who's never healthy. Okay. 5 years ago, 4 years. Yeah, I say 5 years, 4 years ago. Okay. Were there people talking about JJ Watt as possibly being the greatest defensive end of all time?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Is anybody talking about that now?
You can't stay healthy, man.
Can't stay healthy. Just can't stay healthy. When he's on the field, he's a beast.
Yeah.
A beast. The only player in NFL history to have multiple 20-sack seasons. Okay, a guy that could play defensive end and defensive tackle, get triple teamed, and still get to the quarterback when he's healthy. But he didn't last like Jerry Wright lasted, like Reggie White lasted. He didn't last like Bruce Smith lasted. Why does JJ Watt not work his butt off to stay healthy? 6'5", 300 pounds, and he's shredded. Does a 60-inch box jump at that size. So he puts in the work. Why does his body break down? That's the way he was built. Okay, and we've seen it, guys. Guys, if there is names, I'll give you a perfect example. Perfect example. Name me the greatest wide receiver of all time.
Jerry Rice.
Jerry Rice, hands down. There's no argument, right?
Right.
If I go back to 1990, there was an argument between Jerry Rice and Sterling Sharp. How come Sterling Sharp's not in the Hall of Fame?
That's a good point.
Body broke down.
Yeah.
He was out of football by the time he was 30.
Yeah. We'll
Jerry
see, man.
Rice played until he was 40.
Yeah, we'll see.
I can give you an example with a Hall of Famer, with multiple Hall of Famers. Terrell Davis, Earl Campbell, and Gale Sayers. All of them are in the Hall of Fame for their short window of greatness. Why was their window short and Frank Gore is 35 and just signed with the Jets? Why is that?
Oh, yeah. Somebody's can handle it, somebody's can't.
Roll of the dice, man.
So you think Tua is one of those guys that's not going to be?
His body's not handled for football. I think it's not built for football. Okay, because it wasn't just one injury. It was a really serious injury over a nothing hit. How many times during the season do we see a person with a football in their hand get tackled from behind, get tripped up, like, somebody grabs your legs?
Right.
That's all that happened to Tua.
No, they landed on him, big dog.
I'm not arguing that.
Yeah.
But that type of hit, we see in the NFL 50 times a game.
Yeah.
Okay? And you looked at that and you went, what happened? Oh, his ankle? Oh, it must be his ankle. What? Dislocated hip and fractured pelvis on that hit? The kid played 2 years at Alabama. Both ankles operated on. And, by the way, he also had a severely sprained knee that he had to miss time to being.
Yeah.
And then the next season, dislocated hip and broken pelvis. Dude, there's guys that are just, their bodies were made for something else other than durability.
I agree with 100% of what you're saying, man.
That's all. That's all. It's not a knock. I'll be rooting for him. I hope to God that he proves me wrong and has a healthy.
I hope he proves both of us wrong.
And he has a healthy 15-year career, but I just don't see it happening.
Yeah.
Slim Shady with donation. Thank you, Slim Shady. He said, do you all believe the rumors about Tua Jr. to the U? I haven't heard those rumors. I don't think so. You talk about Tua's little brother that's at Alabama right now. I think that's the one you mean, Slim Shady. What's his brother has a T name also. It's I forgot his name. Tuiagala Tagovailoa. So he has a longer name than Tua. But I haven't. It seems that he was pretty much. He has a future. I think he has a future at starting. So I haven't heard about that about him transferring or him being in the portal.
Yeah. All right, man. So let's go ahead and wrap this up, man. Thank you guys so much for joining us today, man. Before we go ahead and get out of here. Oh, look, before we get out of here, let us know between
Baby Shaq's comment. Rumor has it Tua broke a rib on a double sneeze.
Hey, let us know who you guys want to see first, man. Between De'Aaron King, Quincy Roche,
Dazzling Worsham, Isaiah Dunson.
Everybody's gonna say De'Aaron King.
Keyshawn
Smith, and
what I'm missing.
The other corner.
Jalen Harrell?
Yeah, Jalen Harrell.
I thought we covered Jalen Harrell.
No, we didn't.
I remember covering. Can you remember there's two?
No, we didn't. No, we didn't.
The Jalen Harrell pass rusher and the Jalen Harrell DB, and I thought we had covered both when we did defensive prospects.
No, I don't think
so. That's the 6 then.
Yeah. So let us know, man, who you guys want to see first. Regardless, we're gonna do them all. We're gonna do all 6, and then maybe we'll start jumping into some 2021 recruits.
I said Gore will be 37 on May 14th.
That's ridiculous, man.
And the man just signed with the Jets.
That's crazy.
Why are somebody's
another Hall of Famer for the U, baby?
Okay, listen, you guys saw, Walter Payton career for I know a lot of you guys are young, but for those of you that have seen Walter Payton was 5'10", 205 for in his career, 210 tops. Guy ran with all heart. Had speed and stuff, and he had wiggle, but he also ran with all heart. Okay, ran tough. Walter Payton, his entire career, never missed a game due to injury. Right? Earl Campbell was a human being designed in a lab somewhere to be a running back because he was 5'11", 240, and had the speed to outrun DBs. Okay, one of the most impressive stats I've ever heard out of an athlete. Earl Campbell had a 36-inch waist and 38-inch thighs. Think about that, guys. Okay, Earl Campbell literally had to walk like side to side. That's how big and strong Earl Campbell was. In the NFL, he had a tiny window of greatness. Now, mind you, his tiny window was toughest running back in the history of the league. But by the time that he came into the league, I believe in 78, and by 80, double check there, Junior, on the computer. I think by 84, he was out of football. 85 maybe was he ended up with the Saints. But Earl Campbell had in 78, he led the league in rushing. In 79, he led the league in rushing. In 1980, he rushed for 1,900 yards, one of the greatest seasons in history. And I believe that was his last 1,000-yard season. He might have one more 1,000-yard season, but that was it. And that's a dude who was a monster of a human being. His body broke down. At the end, his last game.
The last one was in 83.
There you go. Young guy breaks into the NFL in 78, and his last year was 1983. 5'11", 240. And
technically his last year was 85, but
he hardly played in 84 and 85 then.
No, he played. I don't know why it did it like this. I don't know. I broke it up weird.
But anyways, I think his last carry in the NFL, he was caught from behind and they hit the football out of his hands, and he was so embarrassed. Yeah, I know. I saw Bergie. They say he's actually a little bit better now. He has a little bit better now. He's going to struggle getting around the rest of his life, but he was hooked on painkillers, and it got really really bad there for a while. Yeah, but Earl's. I heard that he's doing better now. Thank God, because really good man too. Just he was one of my favorite non-Dolphins in history. Even though he killed us in that Monday night game, he rushed for 199 yards and 4 touchdowns by himself. He beat us. That was one of the best games ever. 35-30, I think was the final score of the Oilers over the Dolphins. But Earl Campbell he was one of those guys he worth the price of admission. But he had a tiny window because even that incredible body wasn't built for that. How come Walter Payton could play into his 30s? And it's not just because of preparation and how crazy Walter Payton was about exercise and stuff like that. Yeah, that's true. But I've seen guys that are like that. J.J. Watt's a good example, whose body still breaks down.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is, guys. There's just guys that are made for it, and that's my fear with Tua.
We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Well, let's go ahead and get out of here, man. Hey, guys, thank you so much for joining us, man. If you guys are new here, subscribe to Julian the Big Dog, man. Hit the notification bell. Hit that like button on the way out. We really appreciate it, man. Our breakdown videos of the remaining 2020 recruits are coming, so be on the lookout for those. A lot of people have requested King to be their first one, so De'Aaron King it is. We'll go ahead and break down De'Aaron King the way we do with some video and everything else. I can't wait.
I love doing the research on that. Forget about the show. I'm gonna love doing the research on that.
Yeah, man. But hey, man, thank you so much, man, for everybody that donated for George, Slim Shady, Hurricane Millie, man, everybody that donated, man. Thank you so much. And yeah, we'll see you guys in the next one. As always,
it's all about this you.
Have a good night, guys.
Thank you, guys.